Hi friends, and welcome back to the channel. It is Ash here, and I know it's been a minute since I last uploaded, but this is kind of just me here at the end of the year to kind of give you an update and everything that's been going on this year. I am a little sick, so if I sound a bit nasally or a little croaky, that is why. I am a little burnt out from the whole year, but that's only because it's been such a productive year, and I'm so thankful for being able to get back into art and really throwing myself into multiple projects that I think have made me grown as an artist, and I think has given me a lot more experience and built my portfolio to the best of my ability for right now. And I look forward to seeing what I can accomplish next year. So to you, the sequence of clips may seem a little out of order. However, this is kind of like the order that really happened of how I completed each project in real time throughout the year. So it's straight from my camera roll, starting from January all the way through December, and so it may seem a little out of sequence. I swear this is just how I did things. I was really all over the place. You'll see sneak peeks of different projects that aren't really finished, and then I'll finish them in another clip, or I'll start a project in one clip, same thing with that. So it may seem a little disorganized, but that's just how my brain works. So I'm just gonna kind of walk you through what I've done this year. It's mainly just a retrospective video, glancing at everything that I've been able to accomplish, and I'm so thankful that I did so much this year, especially compared to last year, which was not a lot. Even though I feel like I was a lot more productive and active on my social media last year. I think this year, since I took more time to really focus on art, more specifically my senior show, you can see that I just was a little absent on YouTube this year. However, this upcoming spring, it's the first time I'm not in school now that I've graduated with my BFA, spoiler alert. So, you know, I feel like I'll have a lot more time to dedicate myself to promoting that YouTube and everything like that. So, for sure, I think it'll be a productive year coming up, and I know I say that every video almost, but I truly think next year is my year, for sure. So, what you're seeing here is just kind of a reference video that I created at the beginning of the year when I first wanted to get into animation. I knew as soon as I heard Epic the Musical, if you know that musical, like, it's the best, honestly. I wanted to create something inspired by it. Like, I read the Odyssey, so I was like, I just need to do something. So I kind of just read up on a bunch of other classic literature, and it kind of just spiraled me into this new kind of wave of just inspiration through a lot of classical literature, and I wanted to animate with that, especially through animatics, which have taught me a lot. So this is my first attempt at animating. Like you've seen in my other video, rotoscoping is kind of just my main way of animating right now, at least to the best of my ability until I can learn better. But this was like slightly inspired by Paradise Lost, and it was just a fun little deep dive exploration of what I could do, and I'm proud of that. Let me know if you think I should finish that or not. So this is my first attempt at really putting myself into digital art. This was for one of my projects in class, and my illustration class, and I can't really remember what it was for. I think it's for like a concert or something where we had to make art to fit like a music concert with the music department. So I think we had to make like 2 pieces. This is one of those pieces. The other one, I don't think I can put on YouTube because it has some nudity in it, so we're sticking with this one. But this is kind of one of my pieces that I didn't halfway do, and I'm proud of how it turned out. So I know it seems like I'm rushing, but I'm just trying to follow the clips. This is another sneak peek into, well, this is a sneak peek into what took up most of my time this year. It was my magnum opus artwork, which is the Journey to Ithaca triptych. I have made a whole comprehensive video on this. It's not finished edited yet, but it definitely will come out in the new year. This is the first panel in the triptych, and it is of Odysseus. And this is me kind of putting color on, and I definitely put a lot more effort into this panel over the other panels, unfortunately, because I had a lot more time and I didn't have a deadline hanging over my head. But this is that. This is that first step into the triptych, and I think this is one of my best works of the entire year. And I'm so proud of what I was able to accomplish with this triptych, especially this panel specifically, like the underpainting, everything. Like, it took multiple months, which is why it's probably the better one of the three, because the other two took like a month each because I was running out of time. So, but this one, it is definitely, I think, my favorite painting of this year. In separate from the rest of the triptych, but it definitely, I put so much time into this. I started it in July, and I technically finished it like October, early October. So I spent the better part of the year on this one, and I'm very proud of it. I really pushed myself to the limit, and it definitely showed me what I can do as an artist and how far I can push myself. And yeah, I'll stop rambling about it because I definitely will go on for sure, and I want to save that for that video, so be sure to watch that video when it comes out. It'll definitely be very comprehensive and go into every piece that I did for the show. So here I am just kind of driving along. Throughout the video you'll see clips like that. I just kind of went on breaks because I was getting very huckled down by my art, and it really was consuming me. So me and my boyfriend traveled a lot this year, and it definitely helped kind of cool me down when I was like too into what I was making and too into kind of that I was just really getting burnt out, so I needed to take those breaks for sure. It didn't really help in the end of it. Like, it did and temporarily, but like at the end of the year I was still extremely burnt out. So this you have seen, it was from my animation video where I actually did put real effort into finishing like a 17-second animation, and I put effort into the backgrounds because in that video I explained I'm heavily inspired by artists such as like Ivan Earl, who did the backgrounds for Sleeping Beauty, and I really want to bring that back, like bring those animations back, the 2D ones where the backgrounds are just beautifully painted and it's just very just whimsical and beautiful, and I wanted to kind of incorporate that in my style. That castle, fun fact in the background, that castle that I made is heavily inspired by the Cinderella castle, because Cinderella is my favorite Disney princess. So I wanted to kind of hint to her in that, and it definitely just kind of was in that mood of just whimsiness. This was just a fun summer project that I did, this whole 17-second animation, and I think it really paid off, and it showed me animation is something I definitely want to pursue, and I think that will happen a lot more in the new year. So here is when I started school back in August, and you can definitely see I've had some academics, some training, a little bit more training, so I definitely went back in on the face, and I think this is how I started that portraiture and how I started to get into that style for sure. This is my brother being my amazing model for my senior show animation, which you can see here. It's really basically just about the Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, my favorite book, and it just shows kind of like the intimate training between Patroclus and Achilles, and they're training with Chiron while they're in their adolescence. And I think that I really want to animate like a small little short, like a teeny short. It's like 30 seconds long. Again, I'll go over this in my senior show video, but I think this was the first clip I worked on. It's technically the second scene in the entire short. But I just really liked this one. It also allowed me to like digitally paint a little bit more, and I think that allowed me to really explore that venture in my art skill as well. And I think being able to do more digital art allowed me to, I don't know, just kind of explore my limits. And I think I just explored a lot this year, now that I'm looking back at it. Well, this is a retrospective video, so, but I really, this year, it was just a great year for me to experiment, and I think it really worked out well, especially seeing it all come together in my senior show. But seeing this specific short, it really is one of my favorites. Next here is a small little painting I did. It was for like a 2-second clip in that second scene. And even though I didn't put that much effort into it, it was still so much fun. And it added so much, like, I don't know, it just added more detail, more world building, instead of just replicating the same background for every clip. I actually put effort into it, and I think even though this wasn't one of the more important paintings, it still added like the right needed amount of context, and it still was fun to create and kind of give a break from those massive paintings for the triptych that I was working on at the time. And I think it definitely added more skill in my repertoire, if that makes sense. It just, I don't know, it was a nice break. I feel like every time I was working on senior show stuff, I think the thing I was most looking forward to was the animation part and the digital painting of the backgrounds. And I think seeing myself kind of get excited for that definitely informs me about what I want to do this year moving forward, and how I want to move forward this year with animation and knowing where I want to put most of my time. I think I am a little burnt out with actual like oil and acrylic paintings, and I definitely want to involve myself a bit more in like a sketchbook or just less high stake stuff. Not saying that like digital painting is less high stakes, but it'll definitely, I don't know, it's just more fun at this moment in time for me. And I think exploring that more will not only give me more skill with that, but also kind of give me a break and some breathing room from just traditionally painting. And this is how it kind of turned out a little bit. You'll see the full thing in my senior video, so look forward to that. This is the second panel I worked on, but it's the third in the series, in the triptych. It is the Penelope panel. It is the same size as the Odysseus panel. So it is kind of basically the same thing, but like I said in the beginning, like I had like a month to work on it because I was spending so much time on the Odysseus panel that I just kind of forgot about the other two, which is insane. But now that I think about it, like I started this literally October and the senior show was in December, so it was not ideal. But this one was more easier, probably because I used acrylic paint instead of oil paint. I used oil for the Odysseus one because obviously I had more time, and then I used acrylic because I was running out of time. So, but I still, I did use oil in the portrait and stuff like that, so you can definitely see that kind of style in the portraiture of all of those paintings grow. And I think that really was something I was able to establish and learn this year for my own personal style, and I'm proud of that. This is the second panel and the last panel I worked on. It is basically just Odysseus and his trials and stuff. Again, these are all, it seems out of sequence, but this is just kind of how I worked on each project in real-time order. It was literally all over the place. I was not organized really that much at all. But again, I'll go more in depth on that in the senior show video. It's gonna be a long video. It's gonna be like, I think right now it's timed at like 66 minutes, and that's really long. So I need to have time to edit that and kind of find space for that, so it'll take some time. Sorry guys, but I swear it'll be worth it. If you just wait, you'll enjoy the video for sure. This is another clip background painting for the Patroclus and Achilles training animation short that I did for my senior show. And I think this was, I don't know if I like this painting or not. I'm kind of conflicted. I like it, like, in the animation, but on its own, I don't know how I feel about it, and I think that's kind of problematic for me. Ivan Earl's paintings, like, you could just hang them up without, you know, Sleeping Beauty and all of the animation on top of it, whereas, like, this, I don't think I would hang this up. I'm gonna be so honest, like, I don't really vibe with it that much, so I don't know, but I do think it looks good with the animation, and it does elevate the animation for sure. Just on its own, it doesn't really stand, it doesn't have its own 2 feet, so I definitely want to work on that, and I think it's good that I'm able to judge and critique that and kind of clock that before I kind of just like, oh, it looks great, awesome. So I think it's good that I'm able to critique that and know what I want to do differently next year and how I want to improve. I think here it's just too much greens and browns and too murky. Here I am back at that middle panel, and this was like the most fun panel, I think, out of all of them. I just love when there's lots of elements in one painting, and I love being able to just like kind of paint anywhere, and then, because I'm, as you can see from this video, I like to start one thing and then start the next thing, and I think here it was like the perfect formula for me to just start in different areas and then never just get bored with the painting. So it was definitely the more fun one, and the one that catered more to kind of like my way of thinking of how I go about painting and that whole process and everything. So I really enjoyed this one. It was with acrylic paint as well, so not as like detailed or smooth as the first panel, but it was still fun. I did go over Odysseus in oil paint to make him a bit more smoother, but everything else, it was just left kind of acrylic. This is what it looked like all together. It looks so great on the wall. I wish you guys could see it in person. It was that good. But yeah, that was just a brief look into my year, and I wanted to give you guys like an update and a catch up to see how I've been, and it was great. I was able to graduate with my BFA, and I think I'll definitely have more time to improve and keep going next year, and I look forward to that, and I'm so thankful, and I hope you guys can come along for that ride. So, see ya!